I'm as good as God wants me to be.
All right, congratulations first.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so we would like to know you.
I'll give you the formal introduction that I always give in the house. My name is Ibe Okwara Osonwa, Ohafia, and I represent the very prosperous people of Arochukwu, Ohafia Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State.
Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium.
Okay, sir, you just finished from the cut, and you are pronounced the winner of Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency from the appeal court. How do you feel about the victory?
First things first, you always have to give reverence back to God. The book of John, 10th book of John, 10th verse, says the thief comes at night to steal, to kill, and to destroy, but that the Lord gives life to all things. So we give thanks to God for giving life. This victory is not mine, it is ours. The good people of Arochukwu Ohafia Federal Constituency came out in their numbers despite the flawed nature of the materials not coming out on time, despite the time constraint, despite the issues of the beavers machines. But the good people of Ohafia and the good people of Arochukwu all came out and voted overwhelmingly for a change in direction, for a paradigm shift in our perspective. It is a victory that comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight of expectation, but it is also something that we are always going to strive to achieve. Our people crave change, and we will try and provide the positive change, positive narrative. We are not politicians. We are not built from the old cart. We are new, and we'll try and stay honest as we came in. So that's where we are. We're just thankful. We're just very
When you talk
thankful.
about positive narrative, can you just highlight it more so that
Um, One thing I was also taught by my father is never speak detrimentally about another person. But you and I understand that the things that were done before might not have been done well enough. Things might have been done differently. People might have been carried along more. The more you sit where we are now, you realize that things are not the way we see it. Things are not the way we hear about it. But you can't even also blame the common man outside. What you should be doing is to be explaining these things to the common man. So, a good example, I have a town hall meeting where I'm going to talk to my constituents in the next few days. And we intend to do that every month. As I said during my campaign, the essence is to be transparent at all times.
okay, sir, you are the first time in National Assembly as a representatives. I mean, understand that seniority is what is so much cherished in the chamber. So, being a first time, how have you been coping with the influence of the ranking members? Have they been able to give you opportunity to press for the needs of the people and seek for that which the people need? How have you been, maneuvering your way and all that?
Um, I'm a traditional person. My father was an exceedingly traditional person. He taught the essence of tradition. And one of the key factors and key bedrocks of traditional understanding is respect for your elders. But I was also taught that respect is reciprocal. You will only get respect when you give the respect. The senior members in the house have shown the respect and we are giving to them. But when there were times where the non-ranking members were not treated in the way we thought was equitable, I stood in front of the queue, I stood in front of the pack and said no. From little things like seating arrangement, where I broke the seating arrangement thing, where there's, ranking members were given preference over us. I refuse to allow that stand. That is just who I am. And I think we are in a good place. We respect them. They know what they are talking about. We learn from them because we are new in the game. But we also understand that you can't be meek too much. You need to shine your eye.
No, I understand that the National Assembly is not actually executive that that use this instrument to rally people. But if you look at our country today, the level of poverty, depravity, economic depravity, and it's actually high. A lot of people are are being pushed into the precipice. They are hungry. They are angry. They are agitating somewhere. That one too will have a kind of economic impact. Now, as a national assembly, is there a way? Are you people concerned with the level of poverty in this country? Is there a kind of support you think you can give the executive for the Nigerian people to actually feel that yes, people we have elected into the national assembly are concerned about our welfare, and these are the steps they are taking, and we actually feel it. Do you people actually feel the pulse of the people? I know when you go to this meeting now, a lot of people will be beseeching you, give us money. It's just as a result of the economic difficulty. Are you concerned as if given an opportunity, would you want the legislature, would you want the executive to do anything differently to enhance the livelihood of Nigerians?
One thing I can assure you is that there is no different petrol station, neither is there a different market that we all go to. The same market that you go to is the same market that I go to. The same petrol station you go to is the same petrol station I go. It bites and it bites everywhere and everyone very evenly. So we understand the pains. There is from little things like the price of egg doubling overnight to the price of transportation equally doubling. We all know these things. We know the pains of the common man. In fact, beyond the House of Assembly members, we are the closest to the public. So it is us that they run to first, and we too feel their pain. Now, what can we do? It is always very important to start with the leading points that you gave. We are legislators. We write laws on behalf of the people for the people. So all we can do is write laws that will try and alleviate the issues of our people, but also use the second arm of our duty, which is to oversight. So we'll use that oversight powers to look at things. Today, a House member from Ebonyi raised a motion, an urgent public matter motion on the cancellation of 246 people's visas. All we can do is say, we don't like this thing that is happening. Please help our people. We have also raised motions regarding increase in the price of petroleum products. We are in agreement with the presidency that the removal of the subsidy was required because at some point in time, it became a racket for a handful of people to enrich themselves. But at the same time, everything has two ends. There's a carrot and a stick approach. The people are suffering. The price of fuel is going up because of the removal of fuel subsidies. So we have to find a way to ease that burden. And the easing of that burden is long-term, medium-term investments. We need our refineries producing so we stop having to go and buy. We cannot be growing cassava and then looking for how to buy gari. It's not, that is what we are doing right now. We need to find a way to make sure that our products are refined locally so that our people benefit from the fact that there is no transportation cost. Because the reason why the price of fuel is so high is the transportation cost that is clubbed on it. We cannot stop the entrepreneur or the businessman from putting a markup on his product because that's the economic cycle. But what we can do is reduce the cost of transportation or eliminate the cost of transportation. And that's the thing. Those are all the things that we can do. So we oversight, we find ways of creating easing mechanisms for our people. We also need to get away from over-reliance on oil. We have just raised a bill recently that passed the second stage to find a way of diversifying our economy and making sure that we earn more money from other angles. Now, these are the things that as a legislator we can do. We are also constantly talking to the executive arm to make sure that they ease the pain on the people. Because guess what? When they ease the pain on the people, they are easing the pain on me too. Because my wife is not going to a different place to buy you.
All right, coming back to your constituency, which is Arochukwu, Ohafia Federal Constituency. Erosion has been a problem in that constituency. What steps are you taking to make sure erosion is a bygone?
Erosion is a factor of nature and human interventions. We've built houses, water channels have been affected, and so all we can do is check those problems. I recently raised a motion on the House to highlight the issues of this erosion menace on both Arochukwu and Ohafia local government. I deliberately did not include my community as the header, but spoke clearly about it in the body, saying, even my own Ujureze's palace that has stood for decades, centuries, is now being affected by this erosion menace. It is important that we understand that we are all affected by it. It is a menace that has destroyed homes, killed people, displaced our people. I come from Ibe Ohafia, and I have at least 5 to 6 clans, compounds that have been completely moved away from where they are. They've had to resettle. Generational homes destroyed. We can't carry on like this because we are now at a point of non-existence. Following the motion that was raised, I also approached the Ecological Fund to provide us with aid and support. This is something that we're still pursuing. This is something that will take, it's a process, but I am in the middle of it. The Igbo man says, I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm holding that bone. I will not let it go until I get what I want, and we'll fix this problem for the people of Ohafia, in particular for the people of Ebem, Ameku, Elu, that are ravaged by this erosion. There are other communities in Arochukwu, Ihechowa, Abam, Ududu, Isu, all also affected by this erosion, and I am fighting their cause. One thing you can be sure and you can rest in your sleep is that Ibe Anaga could go down. I mean my business, as I've always said.
Like you said about your palace, your king's palace. When you hear from outsiders when they say your king doesn't have a palace because of erosion, how will you feel as a legislator from there? So it's why most times when we read from, we get our different interviews from different communities about erosion in their constituency, mainly in Ibe Ohafia, they keep complaining that your king's palace have gone.
My brother, I wish I could make it happen at the snap of my finger, but we are not, it is not personal funds. There's a due process that needs to be followed. All I can assure you is that that process is being followed. At every point in time and every step where I can accelerate the process, I think I've done more than that already. Getting to where I am right now took a lot of external intervention to get where it is right now. But we're almost there. All we continue to pray for is patience from our people and assurance to understand that
For past 3 years now, your constituency has been battling of electricity. There is no light in Ohafia. What step have you taken to make sure?
So this light one is actually a very funny situation. It's funny in the sense that maybe 3 weeks ago, one of the committees I sit on is a public petitions committee, and the community of Mbise approached the public petitions committee, and they took EEDC, who is our distributor, to the committee. When the committee raised their problems and raised their concerns, I took the microphone and I said, look, I am from Ibe Ohafia, and we have not had light in 3 years plus in our community. And ironically, the provider is EEDC. After the hearing, one of them approached me to discuss this matter. And I told him, send me every single documentation to what needs to be done so that we can find a way to intervene on our own end also. And the gentleman sent me a documentation that required 33 kVA lining or something like that. And I've told him I've collected it and I will run with it. One thing I have to do is to give commendation to my deputy governor, who has also fought this corner, providing new poles, extending the lines. But one thing we had was a besiegement of vandalism on the termination points. So we have fixed everything coming, and we've gotten to a point where it terminates and then spreads out to distribute. And unfortunately, the equipment there have been vandalized, and that's what we are going through now. I will join all your voices and say, me, I need light too. And I will push with my governor and my deputy governor to see a way forward. From my own point, I will also fight the electrification and distribution companies to also find a way to spread this light. And then even when they've given us the light, there is an act that was set up in this country to make sure that metering is spread out, because one of the biggest problems we also have is people don't want to pay. Because how can I not be in my house and you are charging me for light that I have not used? And I know for a fact that there were funds set out to make sure that meters were distributed nationwide. So we have also raised the motion in this house 2 weeks ago that I supported, that we should make sure that the people that are supposed to be spreading the electricity and also providing the meters have started providing those meters, so that when we do get the light, I don't have to pay 200,000 naira a month for lights that I was not even there to use, because they've done how do they call it again? They've done estimated billing. Yeah, washing is theft.
So how long is this going to take for the light to come in Ohafia?
If I give you an answer now, I'll be lying and you will say I gave you a timeline. But what I can tell you is that in the next few days, I will be sitting with the governor and the deputy governor to discuss this matter and hopefully find a solution. I pray to God that we all have light for Christmas. Even if one day it will be something achieved, but we will try.
Because our investigation, we gathered that last administration paid a huge of money on EEDC or contractors for them to rectify that problem. Are you aware of that?
I have heard stories. I am not part of any committee that received. I heard that there was an electrification committee, I don't know whom were the people in the committees. I have heard monies were paid, but you know that our humans are used to embellishments. Maybe 10 naira was given, 10 naira becomes 100 naira. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be indicted not on earth and neither in heaven by giving an amount of money that was said to be given to someone and saying that. I don't know. But what I have heard is that monies were given to certain people, and those monies, I don't know what happened. But I do know for a fact that the Deputy Governor, Engineer Ikechukwu Emeto, has been doing extra things to make sure that light is in our community and has been doing it from the date of swearing in.
All right, the Federal Network Road to Ohafia, Arochukwu, like from Bende to
Umuahia,
from Bende to Ohafia
Ohafia,
to Arochukwu.
Arochukwu.
More is just like a death trap right now.
Yes.
And some other places in your community is bad. So is there any way you have tried to put things well there?
So from the first day I sat on this seat, the first letter I wrote was to the contractors that were given the contract to do the road. I can tell you for a fact that they evaded my invitations. I have had an opportunity to speak to the current minister. I also spoke and dialogued with my predecessor, the previous House member, to find out what has happened. What is very important to note and remember is that the budget that subsists today is the budget that was written last year, which means I have not written any budget. All I am doing is chasing what my predecessor did. My predecessor also put in a request for the fixing of bridges. I think that has been followed through. All I am doing right now is continuing to chase this. The current budget that will come, I will make sure that I find a way to make to include these roads again. But on the other note, my amiable governor and I gave a pledge to the people of Arochukwu and Ohafia on the 31st of December 2022, where we spoke to the people of Ihechiowa. It said there that his mission will be to make sure that the road from Arochukwu leading all the way to Umuahia will be done. He has lived up to that pledge by firstly making sure that the minister, the Honorable Minister of Works, Honorable His Excellency Dave Umahi, was in Ohafia physically to see the road. I told my governor then that, Oga, if you fix the road, leave me, I will chase your money from the federal level. Fix the road, and I will make sure you get the money. And we all passed through that road. Some of them are roads that are not even good enough to be called thoroughfare. But that's what we have to deal with. We are trying to deal with it. These are things that have been put out a very long time that we are having to wrestle back. And hopefully now that we have a governor that is also feeling our pain evenly, we can go forward in fixing the roads. Not just the major roads, but even the little side roads. There's a bad road that my heart bleeds when I pass, and that's the road to Nkwebi. That road is terrible. That community is cut off. One of the first things I did was to use my own money to provide the palliative to fix that road so that the people can at least come out and go to market and even commune with their brothers and sisters in other communities. There are communities that required roads to at least allow the children go to school. We have done what we can do, as much as possible, but we are also making sure that whatever we are putting into the current budget will also look at those their roads.
So what's your work relationship with the senator representing Abia Senator Oduzo?
I have a very respectful relationship with my senator. I have known Senator His Excellency Oduzo for a very long time. Suffice to say, the senator is Mwaboya Nam. Oh, Mwaboya Nam. So I've known him from when he was a contractor and was still a burgeoning businessman till date. I know that if there's anything that I need to do, that I can go and meet him. But I also have to say that I have another arsenal in my pocket. That arsenal is my brother, who is the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker to the House of Representatives. And he is all one nani. We all come from the same old band there. So I know that if there's anything that I have to do, I can go to Honorable Ben Carlo to help me, as he is my immediate neighbor and I'm Bob Hanaulu.
Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium.
Okay, lastly, sir. Lastly for me. Have you taken the delivery of your own SUV? Because we learned that some members of National Assembly
I don't have, I haven't taken, I have my own SUV that I bought myself. Ndị Ohafia share nigga eme onye ukpa eje, awo m onye ukpa. Eri m riju afọ before I came here.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So what's your message to your constituency?
Ndị ụmụnne m, unu amaghale m. Azịa m ntu wepụsa. Ahụ m nwa Chief Okwara Osonwa, Ugomba 1 of Ibim. Enyi Abia. So amaala m si mmekashi onwe m ọrịa afanya ife mmekashiga anaghị ama emekashi unu. Ife ọhụ unu duim. Awụ nwanta ọhụ unu dui o Jezus ozi. Ozugbo ozi. Ozugba. Ozusaba nke ndị ọdụ ọzugba. Whatever you send me to go and get, I will get it +1. All I need is your patience and who mejekwa who support naga. But all in wrong na mahalesi ama ni fa hunu hamjeme. No ka ni wo.